You know what, guys? Let's take it easy this week. It's the end of Irish Whiskey Month. Let's do a Jameson. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary, where I do the research to try to teach you a little something about what you're drinking. Tonight, I want to just kind of talk about the Jameson Black Barrel. Now, one thing that struck me as funny when I was planning to do this video is 5 years ago, my very first video was Jack Daniel's. My second video was the Jameson Black Barrel Select. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, Jack Daniel's first video, nailed it. Second video, Jameson, good. I'm going to do McKellen, I'm going to do, whatever else. I'm going to do Glenlivet, I'm going to do all of the big names right away. And the funny thing is, Jameson stopped doing the Black Barrel Select, as far as I know. At least I haven't seen it in a very long time. If they do it occasionally, then I just haven't seen it. But they did end up putting out this Black Barrel pretty much right away. So my video became null, but oh well. So let's talk a little bit about this bottle. This is triple distilled. It's in the low $30 range. I got this bottle for $33. It comes from a blend of both pot still and grain whiskey. And specifically, it takes these two different, pot still, grain whiskey, sherry barrels, oak barrels. It ends up putting it through a column still, triple distilling it, and then there's a small subsection of this whiskey that spends its time in double charred oak barrels. And that's where the Black Barrel comes from. It's not exactly rocket science, but there is a lot of blending going on. So, the flavor is intentional and it's pretty good, I got kind of thinking about this one, and actually, I'm going to save that for a minute. Let's go into the nosing and the tasting, because if you have this bottle, which you might, because it's pretty inexpensive, why don't you grab a glass, pause the video, drink a dram with me. Enjoy Irish Whiskey Month. Oh, and hit subscribe. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a nose. Now, you gotta set your expectations properly. This is a $33 bottle of Irish whiskey. And in America, at least, that's pretty inexpensive. So this isn't gonna blow your socks off. Now, when you're talking about the nose on this, you're gonna be getting things like chocolate. You're gonna get maybe a little bit of vanilla, probably some butterscotch, and in general, kind of a creaminess around the whole thing, which is a pretty good, amount of things to be in such an inexpensive whiskey, especially for an Irish whiskey where maybe the noses aren't always very complex. This isn't complex, but it is defined. If you smell this, you'll probably pick up all four of those notes. All right, let's go ahead and give this a taste. Cheers. Now, what I really like about this whiskey is the flavors you're getting out of this. There's not a ton of them. You're going to get things like vanilla and maybe a little bit of an oakiness to it, maybe a little spice. But really, it's just very easy. This is what I like about it. This is, I believe it's 40%. Yep, 40%, which is fine, minimum obviously, but it drinks very smoothly. This is the kind of whiskey that could probably get you in a little bit of trouble without you realizing it. And that kind of is going to move me into my overall opinion on this whiskey here. When I bought this, because I wanted to review it, I kind of thought this would be maybe one that would get some views, but potentially a bit of a throwaway as far as any sort of recommendation. Be like, this is in every bar, it's easy, just maybe try it and see what you think. I actually am going to upgrade my opinion of this to a buy it. And there's a couple of reasons here. There's no pompousness about this whiskey. This isn't the kind of whiskey you sit down and you evaluate. This is the kind of whiskey that, let me give you a perfect example. So last night, I decided to drink this whiskey. And I had a couple of them. And they went away, while I was watching TV, whatever. And I was like, wow, that actually went by really smooth. And then earlier today, so my wife and I, we have a hot tub in our house, or not in our house, outside of our house. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a whiskey in the hot tub with me. And I took this. And then I took the bottle as well, and I had a couple of them. And then I got out of the hot tub, and I grilled some chicken on the grill, had another one, came in, ate some dinner, hung out, watched another show, had another one, and I wasn't drunk, you know? I had like 4 of them in about an hour and a half, and I wasn't. I was just kind of happy, you know, fine, but it was just enjoyable. There was nothing to it. Like, it was nothing complex that I had to think about. It was just enjoyable. And I don't get that very often, you know? I enjoy my whiskey, don't get me wrong. I got a whole bar back there. You guys have seen it on multiple occasions. Occasionally, some of you have seen it move, and it's a story for a different time. But there's a lot of whiskeys I enjoy, and some of them I enjoy for different reasons. In this particular case, this one I enjoy because it's easy. This one is fun. It's just kind of good. If you find yourself at a bar and you want to just have a good time and drink whiskey, probably fairly cheap, this is a really good suggestion. So anyway, that does it for this episode. I think you should buy it. At the very least, give it a shot. So thank you guys very much for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary for Irish Whiskey Month. And I hope you enjoyed this. I plan on doing Irish Whiskey Month pretty much every March, and I know the videos don't do tons of views. I don't really care. I mean, I care a little bit, but I don't mind because I think Irish whiskey is an underrated type of whiskey. I think there's a lot of cool stuff happening, and given a lot of them taste a little similar, and that's fair, but there's a lot of new distilleries opening up too, so I'm excited to see what they do. Anyway, so thank you very much for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary. Check out thewhiskeydictionary.com, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. And, you know, kick back, relax, pour yourself an Irish whiskey. Cheers.